Hello and welcome to Afterlife Topics and Metaphysics. This is Cyrus coming at you with a quick video tonight, and I want to talk about the mass hysteria involving COVID-19, and as we continue to descend into what appears to be a civilization-destroying mini-apocalypse event, which, as I talked about a little bit in a couple of videos back, I think could also be an excellent learning opportunity for civilization from a spiritual standpoint. And I can probably actually make a whole separate video about that actually. But I want to specifically address why you should not be out hoarding equipment, hoarding supplies, and thinking along those lines. And kind of obvious common sense stuff, but I think people need to hear this. And obviously I'm probably talking to the choir, because the few people who subscribe and watch these videos, I think you're all probably great, logical, sensible, and caring, empathic people. But hey, maybe you might know somebody who does need to hear these points, in which case I encourage you to share this video and give them a chance to hear what I have to say, because I think some people are not really thinking this crisis through well enough. Real quick, if you're new around here, please go down, hit that subscribe button, like the video, and as I said, sharing the video really helps keep this little channel going. Normally we talk about crazy, esoteric, supernatural stuff, and it all kind of ties in together usually, but like I said, in this video I wanted to talk about just this current phenomenon happening of going into stores and buying out all the toilet paper, all the hand sanitizer, all the medicine, all the pet food, all of it, and why this is such a bad idea, especially concerning the nature of this crisis. So very simply, it's selfish behavior. So there's no way around it. See, what you're doing is you are thinking about yourself, maybe yes, your family first, not the community around you. And I understand, for example, when you have like a family, you feel like that they come first. Your family, the people you love and care about, and they come over all the idiots and jerks in the world. When you're driving to work and you have people cutting you off, and idiots, you have managers and middle managers or employees that you can't stand any of these guys, and you just want to get home and get back to your family, or maybe you don't have a family except for like pets, or maybe you live alone. You just want to go back to your dog and your cat and sit down and not have to think about anybody else and kind of stew in your antisocial behavior. And this is what society is like in the West, especially a lot of disconnection between people and a lot of kind of misanthropy or hatred of humankind. And so this manifests now into this very dark behavior. Oh my God. It's always when I'm doing a video that somebody messages me on Facebook and you get the big loud beep coming in. So let me just disconnect from my Wi-Fi and try to continue this. Nobody messages me on Facebook for the last like 2 hours. I start making a video. People start messaging me. I forget to turn my Wi-Fi off. Ruins the video. But I'm not gonna turn the video off. I'm gonna keep going. So anyway, so this is very misanthropic behavior. But here's the thing. Look, are we trying to lead more spiritual lives? Are we trying to be in more what we call service to other people? Are we trying to expand our consciousness, for example? As I've talked about throughout this channel, we don't expand your consciousness by being misanthropic, by hating other people. You do it through expanding your empathic ability, by learning to love other people, by looking for the best in others, and being of assistance and service to your community. By doing this, all of humankind sort of raises up together, and everyone's minds begin to expand, we begin to harmonize, and a lot of the problems in the world begin to work themselves out, at least a little tiny itty bit. But when you are looking out for not just yourself, but let's just say your family, again, who would, we want to argue that, you shouldn't put your family first, right? But sometimes that's the excuse that people use, because they think, well, I'm going to look out for my family, and so I'm going to buy up all the toilet paper, because there's like a 0.5 or a fraction of a percent chance that this pandemic is not going to just resolve itself by summer, and I want to be the number one. I don't care if all the other neighbors in my neighborhood, if they all die, as long as I have all the toilet paper and I have all the supplies, then I'm going to make it through this, winner takes all. And I don't think that this is an attitude eastern parts of the world, when with more of a upbringing, I guess Confucian philosophy, for example, it wouldn't really support this way of thinking. And I think we need to learn from that at least a little bit and consider that, for example, if there was a crisis like this one, and this one by no means should result in the complete end of the world. I think it has ended much of normal civilization, and it's already done that. But it's not going to be the end of humanity or the end of production. It's not going to. We're not going to see the end of producing goods. Amazon has just hired 100,000 new workers because of the huge demand right now in production. Right now, because society is still functioning, all the hoarding is actually, in a weird way, reinvigorating sections of the economy. So as restaurants, bars, and pubs close down around the world, the manufacturing sector is booming. And so, civilization continues onward. But the fact that that's the case means that, when you go in and you clear out all the toilet paper, there's elderly people and there's other families, there's people who won't have access to those things. And while you're sitting on an abundant supply, other people now really, they don't have the medicine they need, they don't have the hygienic products they need. And people may start dying because of this, not because of the stupid COVID-19, 1% mortality rate virus going around, but it's because of this behavior that you're actually going to be killing your neighbors and killing your friends, or killing strangers who are not really strangers, because nobody is a stranger if we all come from, one source consciousness. Like, we can't think of each other as strangers, which means you shouldn't do this to your fellow human beings. But here's the thing. The right thing you should be doing is building up your resources for yourself and the community. You can do this by doing some like rooftop gardening. I remember my old workplace, we had a big rooftop garden installed, and we did it like an old horse trough, and we grew herbs and things up there, and it was nice. And why not? I mean, that didn't require too much upkeep. You can I don't know, there's a lot more you can do. You can learn about horticulture, you can learn about farming techniques, you can learn about conservation of water, rainwater. You can find ways to be more independently sustainable. You can look into solar power for your home in case of grids go out or whatever. There's a lot of things you can do that take a little bit more work than just going into Costco and buying out all the supplies, but will help you and everybody around you in the long term. So I have very little respect for anybody who is reacting to this crisis in this way. I think that it's very selfish behavior, and if there was a more severe cataclysm, I realize we'll be looking at a situation, as anybody would know, just people just battling for every last drop, every last resource. And I think, just as a point of principle, I would rather die. So I would rather, I think, just maybe surrender and not go out and hoard the equipment and be the one who doesn't have the equipment, doesn't have the supplies, and doesn't have the toilet paper. And maybe I'll be one of the casualties. Maybe I will not be one of the survivors. Instead, I'll just go and have a happy, fulfilling life on the astral plane of existence, and that's not a big deal to me. But I'll go out knowing that I wasn't being selfish and hoarding all the resources, that me not buying all the medicine meant that an elderly gentleman maybe was able to buy the medicine, and he needed it more than me. So just the act of not hoarding supplies, I think, is the right thing to do, while thinking about how you can help yourself and then also your community. So maybe the big lesson here is misanthropy. Don't be a misanthrope. If you want to increase your spiritual principles in life, become a better person, don't look at people around you as your competition, as your enemies. Look at them as other aspects of yourself, other aspects of source consciousness, and imagine them as being part of you, and then try to look for the best in the people that you meet. Okay, don't be one of these people going through town, scowling at everybody. Don't be that lady in line at Target bringing back the the bed linens because they're too small, and then screaming at the employees, like, why are my bed linens like this? Because it said it was size this, but when I put it on my bed, it said it was size blah, blah, blah. You know, having no empathy, no awareness about these employees who are underpaid. They can't make, they probably can't make their rent payments. Maybe some of them are single parents, and they have to endure this crappy job in a department store day in and day out. Instead of having that empathy, you get these people coming in and screaming at the customers, screaming at the customer service. And I just find that it's just, I just think this planet, this civilization has a lot of work to do. This is why a lot of people from, I guess, higher spectrums are trying to figure things out on this planet, because this planet needs the most help. Because really, I mean, look around you, it's serious problems. People have serious issues learning how to be empathic and how to take care of each other. So let's work on this. If anyone happens to watch this video, I hope maybe it was of some use. Probably not. But anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe, become a patron, patreon.com/afterlife topics. Pick up a book like Understanding Life After Death, the Afterlife and Beyond over at afterlifetopics.com if you're interested in these kinds of other kinds of rabbit holes, the life after death rabbit hole, the stuff we talk about here. Anyway, thanks everybody. I will talk to you all soon.